Hey, today's video, we're going to talk about how to lower your cost per view, could be cost per click if you want to go there, and the cost per sale that it's costing to generate a sale or ROI of your YouTube campaigns and ads, YouTube ads, by 500 to 1,000%. Yes, that's accurate. I'm going to explain why you're going to be able to increase the ROI substantially, increase your sales by basically 500 to 1,000%. What are the few actions that you need to take? The more of the stuff that basically I'm going to point out are pitfalls on YouTube ads as it's come out recently with some of the changes that YouTube has come out with. You're going to increase your campaign's effectiveness. If you're not doing YouTube campaigns already, I'm going to explain the way that I do YouTube campaigns, even for our own firm here at Garrett TPPC, because this model I found is the most effective way to do it. And so you can replicate this on your own and get a decent result without having to go through all the hassle of all the testing and iterations and everything that I had to go through to learn how to do it for myself. That said, I'll get right into the content here. YouTube ads have changed a lot recently. We're talking about like, mid 2022. There is stuff you need to know to do well with it now, which I'll be covering on this video here. Okay, so just like the video says, the cost per view, basically the cost for every time your ad to show up, with these things, if you do it here and you're not doing these things here, we'll be able to go down by like 500%, literally speaking, with these few actions here, 1 through 4 that I'm going to give you. The cost per sale can actually go down 100 to 1,000% somewhere, okay? Depending on how many of these things you aren't doing and how many you implement and how well you implement it, respectively, okay? As I'm pertaining, as a quick side, when I'm talking about YouTube ads, I'm talking about in-stream ads here, not YouTube outstream, which are video ads that show up on other websites other than youtube.com. There are also different ad types, but I'm talking about the skippable ads specifically because those are the ones that work the best. If you're not using those already, that's the ones that I'm not only talking about today, but you should be going for because they're the most effective ones. It's the YouTube skippable ad is the equivalent of a Facebook newsfeed ad, effectively. So because it gets right in front of the face of the user, that's what you want to use, and that's what I'm going to be, as far as my methodology, I'm going to be telling you about, since that's basically the only thing I use. I use outstream video ads, outstream YouTube ads for remarketing as another touch point in our remarketing sequences that we do. So, we run, 80% of our work here at Garrett TPPC is just YouTube and Bing search campaigns and shopping campaigns, just basically search engine ads. You pay, upwards of 20 bucks a click to get them to your landing page. If you're not doing all the possible remarketing you can, touch points on all the, wherever, different networks, different websites, different types of ads, you're not going to get half the value out of those clicks. And it costs literally a penny to have a remarketing ad show up for somebody one time. So that's why you're going to be able to, effectively, it basically costs nothing to get in front of a person 10 more times with an ad, but frequency is more important than reach in marketing in general, and especially with search engine advertising. A person who comes to your site, 80% of those people don't want to buy right away, and you got to be able to follow up to get the other half of the sales that you're going to get, essentially or effectively. But so YouTube ads are a great remarketing tool, but what I'm talking about here is how do I take YouTube ads and get new people who've never been to our site yet to be able to buy from us. That's what I'm covering here, and that's what I'm going to be able to explain how to get a good return, or 100 to 1,000%, decrease in your cost per sale, or 500+% on your decrease on your cost per view of the campaigns you're already running, while maintaining, of course, your cost per sale that you had. The cost per view goes down. So here are the things you got to do. 1 through 4, as I mentioned, I was going to deliver on this video, so you can follow and get a better return or just have a good return on a campaign you want to start up, given YouTube ads kind of are like the replacement for video, Facebook ads for a lot of different people now, due to how well they're getting better in terms of return, and then Facebook's kind of going down the crapper at the same time. First thing, if you're going to do YouTube ads, YouTube in-stream skippable ads, which is the Mac Daddy type ads to use on YouTube. First of all, do not select partners on the display network. That will get your ad off of YouTube. On basically all the other websites on the web. Technically, I mentioned if for remarketing purposes you would try to maybe use that if all you were doing was remarketing, but if you're trying to get new prospects, no, you don't want that. Why? Because I've talked about this in other videos. The traffic you get from Google properties is much better because they know how to weed out click fraud a lot better. There's a lot of shenanigans going on out there about people who have Google AdSense on their websites and then they pay foreigners or whatever to click on ads, and there's a bunch of click fraud out there. To what percentage it is, some it's higher on some sites than others. But Google, it's when they have all they can tell they're sophisticated enough to know if you get a click, it's a real click. That's also why YouTube ads were working so good, because YouTube could do the same, or excuse me, Facebook could do this. Facebook ads were working so well because Facebook could kind of do the same thing. And you're not buying a click on some other, who knows whose website that is and what their intentions are and what kind of traffic they're bringing in. The traffic on Facebook and YouTube is good quality traffic. It's people who want to use the site and spend a lot of time on the site, and they're frequent users. So if you accidentally, like a lot of people, have this partners on the display network setting option clicked within the settings menu after you set up your YouTube campaign, it's accessible there, then your video ad will be on YouTube as well as a bunch of other websites, like I said. And all those other websites don't have the quality of traffic that a YouTube user would have for the reasons I just mentioned. More click fraud, and just it's a click of an unknown value, whereas a click from YouTube, somebody that is a real, we'll just say a real quality user, somebody that we know the value of overall well, but also the people on YouTube, if you're talking about doing it for a business purpose here, targeting people that have wants and needs that match, basically what we could solve with our product and services, they are going ahead and in the frame of mind to want to fix that problem, and we could get in front of them exactly when they have that problem. Now, that also could be said about some other websites on the so-called Google display network too, but the fact that we know exactly what they want, and what they want is something our product or service can fix, and we know that that click is going to be quality because Google has made sure that, basically they've vetted out all the fake clicks and or whatnot, and also kind of know well, we'll just leave it at that. You could arguably, in some occasions, say that Google also can layer on all the stuff they know about each person watching to get you a better result to a degree, which I'm sure they do, whether or not you actually have this as a part of your campaigns. You will get a good return for your campaign because your ads are on YouTube. And because of everything I said, by the way, I run the discovery ads myself for our firm and for a lot of clients because of the same thing. The click quality is much better than your average site on the Google display network where we could run a banner ad there. My first choice is going to be to run ads once we're outside of Google search, Google search, Bing search. Generally, if we're not talking about Facebook, it's got to be YouTube and then those discovery ads, because those have the least click fraud, the highest quality users, most known value of the users that we can buy is there, okay? And anymore, it's more so YouTube ads than Facebook, because Facebook, they lost data with the Apple update, not getting the data from Apple as much, and they're just with cookies being outdated and Google having more data than Facebook now, I'm going to predict in 5 years, YouTube's going to be the new Facebook as far as advertisers are concerned. So we'll see what happens in the future. But anyway, that's the first thing you got to know right up front, which is internet itself isn't going to change the game, but it's an important factor. If you've got this, you already will get a big difference in your results. But you should have that for sure if you're going to start up any new campaigns. 2, select individual placements to advertise on. So what I mean by that is, so a lot of people on YouTube, they'll just target people that are on certain topics, videos on a certain topics, respectively, and that gets very dicey. Or certain keyword videos about certain keywords, and it's just like on the Google Display Network, as I mentioned on videos about that before. If you target, so-called web pages that are about keywords that are related to my niche, the algorithm will get confused when, I'm sure you've seen it before, you've seen banner ads on websites where it's like, what the hell? How the hell am I getting an ad for this? This is totally random. Because the algorithm's not good enough to know when you type in, that you're selling a equipment repair service, websites that are about equipment repair. It might be, a company that has equipment repair services got in trouble and your ad's there. It's not targeted right. So instead of, which is the reason why people do that, is because it's the easy fix-all solution to get a campaign going in 10 minutes. What you want to do instead, when you're talking about YouTube, is you want to hand select the videos and or channels that specifically have content that with your product or service will fix that person's problem that they're looking to fix on those videos or on those channels. You can include a channel in your list of places to target if that channel exclusively caters to fixing this problem. Like on this channel, all I do is fix the problem of making money with PPC. So if you were trying to sell to somebody that's trying to make money with PPC, it could fix that problem for them, whether it's a PPC service or a software or whatever, even though I'm not for software. I mentioned that before at all. Not at all. But then you could target the whole channel. But most channels have a mixture of content. So don't get too lazy, or don't get lazy and don't target a whole channel because it's too difficult picking out the actual URL or links of each video that are directly relevant to a problem that your product or service can sell. And then with that, you can get a video on those exact videos where they're looking for your product or service. Well, maybe not looking for it, but would use it if they knew it was existing, and then just try to explain to them, hey, you got this problem. We know you got this problem. This could fix your problem. Therefore, why don't you, instead of just stop what you're doing, don't watch any more videos. Check out what we have. And on that video, you can get them get their appetite whet for what you have, and then they'll go to you take them to a landing page that fully explains it. But that's the general idea behind this. On the display network, by the way, I just put a closing on that. It's the same thing. If you're going to do Google Display Network advertising, don't target a topic or keyword, because the matching you get of ad to what the content's about is going to be way off. But if you can make a list of these exact pages, these people are looking for how to find the best 4 horsepower lawnmower to buy. And on Google, in the search results, there's 10 pages here that are about that topic that have banner ads on those sites. So I might not get very much volume doing this, but when they're on these pages that are clearly people that are looking to buy a 4 horsepower motor, and I just want to know the best one to pick based upon some reviews, I want to get my ad there. It's going to be profitable. So it's more so narrowing down your targeting with display advertising on Google Display Network. You start narrow, get it to work, and you can branch out from there, but most people go really broad and then it just doesn't work. You need to be laser targeting individual pages with a specific banner ad that tells them specifically how you're going to be able to solve that person's problem in that exact moment for it to work well, if you want it to work well anyway. So this YouTube stuff is very similar to that. That's why I brought it up. Number 3, don't choose, before I go there, you're going to select these individual videos to target with your video ads. Google can ignore these. It's called placements, by the way. When you find the URLs of the videos you want to target, you put them in the placements targeting, because you can target by keywords, topics, placements, audiences. Placements is where you put the links to the videos you want to advertise on, so that as people are watching the video on these pages, in the middle of the video, my ad will there show up, a skippable ad that they can skip through if they want, that kind of thing. But if you have, this is where people are also screwing up recently. If you have a list of URLs there, but you also have keywords targeted, it used to be respectively that it would be able to combine the video, the link, like you could say this list of URLs and it must be about this keyword, or respectively, or should I say these channels and this keyword. So if people are watching this channel and the video on that channel is related to this keyword, well, it will be there. If not, and the video on this channel is not about these keywords, then the ad won't show. Well, that's still how it works on Google Display Network. Technically, you can say, I want it on these websites, not specifying what page of the website you want on. And you could say, these keywords, if the page on the website's about this, and it's on these domains, then the ad will show up on those pages. Otherwise, if the page isn't about these keywords on this particular domain, so you would have a list of domains itself on the placements, but you would also have keywords on the page, you would then have just a few select pages on these list of domains here that you've whitelisted for Google. Your ads would show up there, and we would do that for like if there was one individual page we want on a website, we would have the URL, the domain as the placement, and then the keywords would be relevant to that exact page, so that our ad would only show up on that one page we really want to be on. That's about a scandal. One of our competitors are going through a scandal, and we want our ad saying that we're an alternative, for instance. So anyway, if you have more than one targeting option with your YouTube campaign, you have your placements, which is your list of videos, and you have like keywords or topics with it. It'll do the keywords and topics. It's not an and, it's an or. It'll show up on your list of links of videos under the placements, but it'll also show up on other videos about that keyword on anywhere else on YouTube, if you get my point. So it's not videos that I list, plus it also has to be about these keywords. It's these list of links or URLs of these videos I list, and the keyword and videos about these keywords, and videos about this topic. So that's something you need to be aware of. In other words, in short, to fix this, or where you don't have to worry about this, is make sure your campaign only has placement targets itself. And the placements being the exact list of URLs or videos that you want to advertise on itself, to have laser targeted ads and things that'll be very efficient, things set up so that it's very efficient for you right away. And you'll probably start making money right away with this. So again, start small, get it working, and then go broad from there. Don't go broad, burn up all your money in 2 seconds, and then you might live to fight another day, we'll just say, even if it takes a little longer. Anyway, that's number 2. Number 3, don't choose campaign subtype drive conversions. Okay, so there's different subtypes. And you can see this in the settings menu of your YouTube campaign if you have one already. But you may be tempted, if you want sales, to choose drive conversions as the campaign, the subtype. If you're going to set up a new campaign, you may be tempted to try or set up. If you're going to be doing YouTube, because of what I'm telling you here, it's how it can be done, and it's easy, and the model I use, all that stuff. Don't choose drive conversions, even though you want conversions, and these other options are seemingly for just brand awareness. The reason for that is if you choose drive conversions, very few people are talking about this, by the way. It forces you to do number 1, which is to have partners on the display network. If you choose drive conversions as your campaign subtype, your YouTube campaign subtype, you will find after that campaign is set up, you click on the settings menu for that campaign, partners on the display network, which is, it's the same checkbox and the same option that I told you you don't want on this first option, will be checked, and it's uncheckable, or it's unremovable basically. You'll see a message that says, because you chose drive conversion subtype, you have to do video ads on the partners of the display network. So in other words, videos outside of YouTube again. Okay? What you want to use instead is brand awareness and reach campaign subtype instead, which, again, we're trying to get sales here, don't get me wrong, we still are. But to get them, you're going to use brand awareness and reach as the campaign objective or subtype, so that, in this instance, or exactly for the reason that we don't want our ads to not show up outside of YouTube. We want our ads to show up on these exact videos, which we're providing, which we know if they have that, watching that video, they have a problem, that if they just knew our product existed or just knew our service existed, they would buy. And that's it. So, unfortunately, we can't use Google's machine learning algorithm to find us more conversions faster, because if we did, we would have to advertise outside of YouTube. So I'm really aggravated that Google made this change, but it is what it is, and brand awareness and reach is the best workaround I found for it, as the second best, to try to get the highest ROI possible. Okay? So respectively, that's the deal with that. And moving on from number 4 here, create a deep remarketing sequence for your to update what you may be doing as far as your ad strategy itself. So in terms of, this is where the cost per view reduction comes in. A lot of people will try to, if you have a tax repair, like your back tax, you have back tax problems, you haven't paid your taxes for a while, you offer a service to help people with that. Because that's a big money niche, there's a lot of money in it, you're competing against other people who want those customers, the customers from people who are watching, how do I fix a tax problem where I have a bunch of back taxes I need to pay and I haven't paid them. In that situation, somebody's watching a video how to fix a tax problem that I have where I haven't paid my back taxes, and the IRS is after me or whatever. I can get my video that offers a service to get you a offer in compromise, or maybe out of paying some of the taxes, and to help you settle with the IRS, because what you have may not be payable now, but we will help you work with the IRS to get you a workable payment strategy, which is what a lot of these companies do. That it's a whole industry that does this, like helps you, deal with unpayable debt to the IRS. And so anyway, there's always so many videos out there about how to fix your back tax problem, right? We could create our own, which is one avenue, but we're talking about straight up advertising here. We want on everybody else's video. And literally our competitors' videos, we could do that as well, because all channels by default on YouTube are monetized now. Whether it's under 1,000 subs, whether we want monetization or not, there's a capability to advertise literally on any video on YouTube you want now, including our competitors' videos. We can get on their videos, which is great, right? So, but the deal is, all the other people in our space that are knowledgeable about YouTube ads, which there's not that many yet, which is why YouTube is the new Facebook of 2012 right now. It's not that competitive and saturated yet. There's the cost per view, cost per sale is lower than, way lower than it will be, because not everybody's really caught on to it yet. It's also kind of hard to make video ads. We'll just, keep it simple. But there's enough people that know about it already, let's say, that getting on those a view of your ad on those videos isn't going to be 5 cents like it is a lot of other places. It's going to be 50 cents. Okay, so like 10 times as much. So we could try to, what most people will do, will try to go directly at that person with a pitch, a direct pitch. Hey, you have a back tax problem? We can fix it. Even if you can't pay your taxes, just call us. We have all the solutions for you. We guarantee you'll be able to pay whatever you have, even if it's not the whole thing the IRS tells you have to pay. Just call us. We'll be able to fix it and have your bank account ungarnished within the next 48 hours, whatever. That's kind of their pitch in that industry. And you try to send them to a landing page that sells them a little bit more, whatever, and then an opt-in. So that'll be your typical person, what they're doing. I found a totally better way to do this. The better way is, you can do that, right? But for the people who just simply watch your video, later on, that same person, because now you have an audience, essentially. So if you just have a YouTube channel and all your YouTube channel contains is your videos that you're advertising. And to advertise a video on YouTube, you have to have a video YouTube channel anyway. And so by advertising on that video that talks about how to solve the person's back tax problem, and then get on that video in the middle of the video explaining how we have the solution for them to get them to our landing page and opt into our landing page there, just by seeing our ad without clicking on it. I'm not talking about clicking on it, just seeing it, which they're forced to see it, because if they were watching that video and we were trying to advertise on that video, they're forced to see it. Then they will be on a YouTube audience, which if you go into your audience menu inside Google Ads, you will see an audience just for YouTube, people that have viewed your YouTube channel. So in essence, everybody who's seen your video ad, which would be all the people who we know have been on one of our either competitors' videos or some other video that explains to a person how to deal with a back tax problem, that we could advertise to these people again, essentially. So once we paid our 50 cents to get our video ad in front of them the first time on a video that's about how to fix your back tax problem or problems, we've got a YouTube audience which has another video, another person on it, which is now primed and ready to remarket to on YouTube, even though they did not click on our video. All they had to do was have seen that video specifically. Okay, even if they click skip. So this is similar to how targeting groups on Facebook works. A lot of people would have a video ad on a Facebook group that would only play for, well, essentially you could set up a audience on Facebook, a remarketing audience, if a video plays for 4 seconds. And so the video would autoplay for the user on the group, though they share the video on the YouTube group. And as they're scrolling, as long as that video on autoplay got to 4 seconds, they're now on a remarketing list. So now effectively you can remarket to or market to people that are in that group because that video played for 4 seconds and tagged them and got them on a remarketing list that we now know they are a member of that group or they're in that group. Well, let's say member of that group. Whereas you couldn't target people on a Facebook group directly, but you can seed a list by having a video and a remarketing audience that triggers when anybody's watched that video more than 4 seconds, if that makes sense. So this is similar to that. Anybody who's on a video that's on a certain select list that we provide, our video ad shows up, which then gets them on our YouTube remarketing list, which anybody that goes to our and has seen any of our YouTube videos is going to be on this YouTube remarketing list. Okay, so then we could, even once they stop watching these videos about back tax problems, we can advertise there where it's much, much cheaper. And the normal cost per view on a let's say a Celine Dion video that they're watching will be like a penny to 5 cents. Whereas our first view to get in front of them when they're actually trying to solve a back tax problem is 50 cents. It's like, it's a night and day difference. So that respectively, we could it's like we got a shot at the same guy or the same gal, but now the shot is going to cost us, 10 to 50 times cheaper to get our ad in front of them. So you get my point, how you can reduce the cost per view to a certain person that has a certain problem on YouTube. Of course, the conversion rate of an ad that shows up for a person as they're watching a video that you select there where they already have a problem they're trying to get solved will be higher when they click to your landing page, and just in general with the ad, the click-through rate of the ad. The targeting the same exact person, particularly that's already seen your ad and now is aware of your brand, that sees an ad the second time, it's not going to convert 50 times less. It's not. It's going to convert like 2 to 5 times less. And now you're going to pay, respectively, 10 to 50 times less per click. So you see what I'm saying now. So your cost per click, instead of 50 cents, or your cost per view, instead of 50 cents, it's now 5 cents. And you're getting a little bit of a less conversion rate on your ad showed to that person, given it's not, they're no longer researching the topic exactly, but they did research to them. They still got the problem most likely, a few minutes later as they view another video, because your video ad can show up on the very next video they watch. Celine Dion was what they were going to watch next because they're depressed about their tax problem. You're bang there. It's like almost as good. The longer it is from them doing the research, the worse the potential conversion rate is going to be. So you don't have to, you can limit how long the ad will be eligible to show up for, whether it's a week or 30 days, so you could test this. You could also limit how many times they'll see your ads. Once they've seen your ads 10 times, so you could limit the ad to 10 times after the person's seen 10 different ads from you in a particular ad group, which it could be a mix of 10 ads, but once they've seen at least one of your ads at least 10 more times, the ads can just stop for that person. That's called the frequency, the ad frequency, which is a setting inside your campaign as well. And you could test, what's the drop-off point at which it's not converting as well. Is it 10 times? Is it 30 times? Which, if it costs you 50 cents for an initial view and it costs you 3 cents for a follow-up view, it may be 50 times before the ROI of your campaign drops off on average that you want to show it 50 up to 50 times already. This is similar to also how Facebook works. The more times they see an ad, the less effective it gets, but usually you want it to see the ad at least 7 times, because respectively there's a power of 7s in marketing where stuff is just more effective once somebody's seen it up to 7 times, because they get familiarity with your brand and trust it more after they've seen your ad for a few times. So it actually works better. So in this case, you're actually paying way less money the second through the 7th time, which the second through the 7th time actually works better because of the familiarity. It doesn't make up for the fact that they're not watching a video about their exact problem that you solved at that time, but it's close, for that matter, and you get my point. So, but to be specific, you don't just show them the same sales ad over and over again. Obviously, you get annoyed by it in a lot of cases, but it's not as effective. They'll ignore it more. So anytime you do remarketing, you do a lot of different ads, or you should, because that's going to have the most highest impact that gets them over to across to the user at a much higher rate or better than having one ad. And so what you do, or what I do, is first of all, have a list of a bunch of other PPC channels, strategy channels that we'll advertise on. And then once they've watched that video, we'll have a bunch of our videos like you're watching right now show up for the person to build awareness of what our brand as a whole. But in your particular case, or when I'm doing this for other people in general, it's similar, but if I don't have a whole YouTube channel to pick from, we'll have the client make 7 to 10 regular videos educating the consumer. And to go back to my previous example with the tax relief service, they're watching the tax relief options video, like how to fix a back tax problem. They see our video ad, maybe they respond to it right then, maybe they don't, but they're on now a YouTube audience, which is an audience of people who just watch any of our videos on our channel. Then we could have 7 to 10 more videos of, it could just be a talking head or it could be an animated video that says people with back tax problems, it's not that bad because there's a thing called an offer and compromise, going back to the thing I said before, and this is what it is. And actually to get that done, it's usually pretty easy. Usually you can do it for yourself, but usually it's much easier to get a professional because they know exactly how to do it, blah, blah, blah. And that's one video. And then another video is another like subtopic of just, it's the style of the content that they saw before and were looking at before, in which your first video ad for that person showed up for that person. So they're watching a video, like a talking head style video, like a how to fix a back tax problem. Your initial video, which is a sales video, shows up there. If it didn't get the person to respond, later on as they're viewing videos on other topics on YouTube, you have 7 to 10 other videos, which was like the original video that they were watching, that was just a general education video, show up for the person to, because that's similar to the content they were already interested in. And that builds up more and more credibility of your brand and company as a whole. And then after 7 to 10 ads, you can have your sales video show up again, or I recommend usually 2 sales videos. And so what you end up having is you'll have like 10 different helpful videos show up for the user after they've seen your initial sales video that rotate out. And then after a few of the educational videos, they'll see the same, commercial, sales commercial, whatever, for video ad that you had, it's just a pitch, show up for them. And then they'll see a few more educational videos, then they'll see another pitch, which is a different, outlined a different way, so they don't get used to just seeing the one pitch. And you get the idea, and it just keeps cycling out. And you can have the frequency of the campaign limited to like 50. I will do usually like 50 times where somebody will see an ad. So they'll see educational videos, educational, sales video, educational, sales videos, educational, sales video, like that, over and over again until it hits like 50. After 50 times, we've kind of already assumed that this guy or gal isn't going to he's not sellable, she's not sellable, and then we give up. But that's the general formula that I found works really well. So if you have a YouTube channel, and anytime this service here works for products or services that I gave you, by the way, or just the campaign structure I gave you and the funnel I gave you, works extremely good for services. If you have a service, highly recommend you start up a YouTube channel like I have here and just do the videos, and then anybody who watches your videos, they can see your other educational videos as far as an actual ad, just kind of similar to what I'm talking about here. And then once in a while I'll see a sales video, and then you'll get a bunch of people that way, people that just organically find your videos on your channel. And then with that, I should say, you can advertise on other videos that are on YouTube that are, trying to solve the same problems that your videos on your YouTube channel are trying to solve, and have your sales video show up there. And then once they see that sales video, you got them tagged as somebody who's been on your channel before, and then they can start to see other videos that you've made because you put those other videos you made, which are just general information videos, but are built into in-stream ads. So you're kind of forcing them to see some of the other videos. Maybe they'll subscribe to your channel. Maybe they'll see a sales ad later on after they've seen a few of your videos and respond to that because they've seen your other educational videos, got a lot of value out of them, and want to now do business with you because they now respect and trust your offer because they've seen your other educational videos first, which is what this is all about. They can see a sales video once. A lot of people will assume that if they see your sales video and they don't respond, they're not interested. No, they got to be able to like and trust you as well. So they see your sales video, it's in the back of their mind, it looks interesting, but they don't trust you yet. For professional services, it's hard to trust a company, especially that's trying to aggressively advertise. But if you start showing your other videos to them that are just helping them, and then they see the sales video again, they're way more apt to respond now because of all that prior awareness and understanding of how you operate, and you seem like a good guy or a good gal because you've helped them a lot, and it's a totally different ball game when they see that sales ad later on. So anyway, that's my favorite YouTube model right there. If I can get a client to do it and put together all those videos instead of just going to it with a sales video. Sometimes the sales video by itself will work pretty good, depending on how in demand the product or service is. of course as well, if the video is good, but a lot of it has to do with like is it an in-demand product or service? If a standalone ad's going to work really well, and from there though, the follow-up makes the whole thing work so much better, because we're going to get so much cheaper cost per click in most markets after we're not advertising on that direct video about our industry topic. And we actually can prime that user to be more receptive to our message, and by seeing a bunch of other videos to try to help the user that were similar to what they wanted to help with before, and the videos they were watching before that were trying to help them on the same topic, and then building up awareness that way, and then hitting up with the sales pitch at the end. But that's the general formula that I use, and what you should consider trying if you tried YouTube ads, couldn't get it to work, or just want to try YouTube ads. This is the general formula that works the best for us. So that's how you get a cost per view for much, much less. You advertise, you build a list, you use other people's videos to build a list, and then you market to the list. And the cost per sale will go way, way down when you're paying way less per view for a person that has the same exact problem that you want to target, but you're paying less per view to get in front of them after they're watching a different video later on. And in general, by having a whole system or series of videos going for the person, the combined action of all the videos together makes each individual video more powerful. So that's how you get your cost per sale down. So in general though, that's everything I wanted to just talk about and describe for you today. What to do with YouTube that I would recommend, or just starting out with, or just to get your stuff to work much better. If you like this video, I have a ton of other videos on this channel about other PPC money-making strategies. If you want to learn how to make Google search campaigns, shopping campaigns, anything like that work, you should definitely check them out, as well as display advertising. I have a lot of other information on my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. Step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that I build them here for our clients. You may be interested in that kind of information. I have it there for you. That's more detailed or detail-oriented versus high level like our videos on this channel are. If you have any questions about anything I cover, as far as this YouTube strategy, the stuff I've listed off or similar, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a day or two time. That said, I would appreciate it if you would be here for our next video. I'll have another great video with another great topic here in another day or two for you to take a look at. And hopefully, again, we'll see you there. Hope you enjoyed this video as well. See you later.